All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station, back with another NHL breakdown here on a Monday. Haven't done a Monday one yet here, but we got 8 games tonight. We got a nice little Monday slate. NHL scheduling is getting a little bit bigger, a little bit better than 14 games, no games, 14 games, etc. So got a nice little Monday slate here, a little 8-game slate. We got some heavy totals, heavy favorites overall, but should be a fun game or fun slate, to break down here. If you guys are new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. If you are not a member yet, I don't know what you're doing, but NBA 15, last chance to get locked in for 15% off any membership plan. Includes all the access to our website, like I'm going to show you here in a second with our matchup sheet, our Stone 2 premium tools over here for NHL DFS. But got our in-house optimizer designed to help you ship, with the Shiptimizer for all sports, projections, ownership, the Stone, rankings. I mean, you name it, we have it. Education courses, showdown, $85 a month right now. If you go to shipitnation.com, click the banner at the top, automatically will prorate it to $85 a month. Some places across the industry are charging more than that just for NBA alone, and then you got to go on and buy an optimizer. Absolutely ridiculous, but hey, to each their own. Let's jump right into tonight's show, or tonight's slate here. I'm going to share my screen here, pop it up on the screen. As you can see here, this is our NHL matchup sheet. These numbers have now been converted over to home and road splits, which are very nice. So as you can see here, the games, some are very limited sample size. Obviously, the Predators only play 2 road games over the course of the season here, but top team is the away team, bottom team is the home team, and these respective numbers here go up through the current season. So as you can see, Edmonton, massive -250 favorites here on the road. But you look, Columbus's defense has actually been pretty solid, especially in terms of expected goal numbers. And you look right here, Edmonton on the road, their penalty kill sub 60%. Columbus been pretty solid at home in terms of power play opportunities here. So I use this to kind of pinpoint my spots that I want to target. And then we jump over to the Stone here that I'm going to pop up on the screen right now to talk through the different areas on which I want to attack. So overall, using those 2 greatest tools in all of NHL DFS, in my opinion here, the Stone, literally, you don't need to know a lick about NHL DFS to come here, figure out how to build teams, use these numbers and metrics to your advantage. Again, all season numbers. We got ownership on here. We got the team totals on here. We got the lines, their power play lines on here, their salaries, the amount of time on ice that they're averaging per game this season, how many shots on goal they're averaging, how many goals per game are they averaging, assist, and vice versa. Same thing with the goalies down here, win percentages, save percentages, expected goals against numbers. So overall, best tool in all of DFS right here, the Stone. Let's talk through it. Let's talk tonight's slate here. Going over the first game, we have Florida, returning Stanley Cup champs, heading into Buffalo to face the Sabres here. I don't really love this game in terms of DFS here. I think Bobrovsky and UPL are both decent goalies in terms of tournaments here. I will say you could play some value pieces here. E2 Luosterainen at 2.9K getting power play time on the road. I think that's a solid value play here. If you want to pair him, you can pair him up with Sammy Bennett, Carter Verhaeghe, Anton Lundell, something like that. But for me, it's pretty much value plays in here. E2 Luosterainen, Aaron Ekblad, I think, is another solid value play here from the Florida side. And then Adam Boqvist here, 3K, top power play still. I think you can play those guys here. But from an overall standpoint, I really don't like the spot too much for this games in terms of DFS. Could backfire on me, but looking at the numbers here, both these teams pretty good in terms of defense. It's only 6 total here. I think this game probably is like a 3-1, 2-1 type game here. I just think other spots are better. On the Sabres side, Tage Thompson should be pretty low owned here. sub 5%. You can always play him anytime he's at home. He has 3-goal upside. 7,500 is a decent price point there. Dylan Cousins, 4,500, not the worst price point there. But outside of that, really not getting to any of the Sabres. I think UPL in terms of goalies for sub 7,500, I think he makes some sense to toss in your lineups and tournaments there. Jump to the next game here. I actually like this game quite a bit here. It's Edmonton. It's the Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets is implied to score 2.2. I'm going to take the over on that here. I just think Edmonton is pretty leaky overall. And I think the Blue Jackets, especially the power play, is in a very nice spot here. I really like Columbus line 1 because they fully correlate on the power play. Monahan, Marchenko, Sillinger. I really like all 3 of those guys a ton. Fully correlated. Going to be sub 5%, every one of them. All the ownership in this game is going to Edmonton side, probably for a good reason against Elvis here. But I like the Blue Jackets top power play. You can add in Werensinski here and a Igor Chinikov. But for me, it's line 1, Monahan, Marchenko, Sillinger. Really like to cut it off there. You get the full line 1. You get the full power play in a spot here where I think they're going to be pushed, right? Edmonton likes to skate up and down the ice, likes to be very offensive. They struggle a little bit in terms of defense. So I like the spot for Columbus quite a bit. On the other side, Edmonton here, one of the heaviest favorites on the slate. They're in a good spot overall, but I think I like other spots more. I like the Avs much more. And then we're going to talk about some other heavier favorites like Utah later on that I like more than Edmonton, but they're still fine. Connor McDavid, 9,400. I will say Leon Draisaitl at 7,700 compared to McDavid is probably my preferred option between the two. Both play similar minutes, both have similar ceilings. McDavid, obviously much better skater, but at almost $2K more expensive when you play a salary cap based game. I think Leon makes some sense here tonight. I don't mind him. You compare him with Victor Arvidsson at 4,500. He's got a nice price point. Outside that, Matthias Ekholm, I think at 4,900 is a nice option in kind of that mid-tier for D-men. Darnell Nurse is always fine, but for me, it's I like Leon one-off, and then the power play for me on the Blue Jackets side in tournaments is a really good spot that I'm looking to target here. Jump to the next game here. Predators have been pretty atrocious overall to start the year here. I mean, 3-5, just not great. 6.5 total in this game here. Tampa, you can always play them at home, but I will say my favorite goalie play on the entire slate is Andrei Vasilevskiy here. I think at 8K home, he's going to be sub 5% from what I'm seeing. I think that's a mistake. Predators on the road this season are top 5 in the league in terms of shots on goal. That means more saves. Upside for Vasilevskiy in a spot where he's a home favorite. I think Nashville isn't very good. They're going to fire the puck, and I think Vasilevskiy can save them. Good goalie here. I really like him a ton from a DFS standpoint in this game. Sure, you can play a Forsberg. He's an elite wing option, spend-up guy. Tommy Novak's a nice value center if you're looking there, but overall, his center value is pretty weak on the slates compared to what the wing value and the defense value looks like. Roman Josi, obviously, you can always play him even in the util, but at 8K, I don't love it. So for me, Predator is pretty much a full fade for me. If you want to play the revenge factor, Steven Stamkos here at 6,300 revenge against his old team. Sure, returning back to Tampa here for the first time, not in a Tampa uniform. You can play him at 6,300. I prefer it more as kind of like a one-off there, so I don't hate that. Or maybe like a little mini stack with him and like a Tommy Novak for cheap at 3,200, 6,300. I don't hate that. Or like a Gustav Nyquist, Stamkos pairing there. But for me, offensively, don't really like this spot on either side. It's pretty much Vasilevskiy for me. Victor Hedman, I think, is a viable option in tournaments, even in the util. But I like other spots more. I think Vasilevskiy, for the most part, or pass for me in that spot. Jump to the next game here. This is one of my favorite stacks, and it is the Jets here. Jets at home. Really like this Jets squad. They're 8-0 to start the year. Look like an absolute wagon here. Toronto struggles defensively, especially on the road here. And the Jets are deep. They got a lot of cheap options. They got the top tier option with Connor, Mark Scheifele, Gabe Vilardi here. Vilardi at 4K flat. Top line, top power play. One of the best value plays on the entire slate. Absolutely love him today. You can pair him with Connor and Mark Scheifele, who are a little bit cheaper than some of those Avs guys, and even some of those Utah guys are similar price to some of those Utah guys here in good spots. They're a little bit cheaper as well than some of those Edmonton guys. So love the Jets here at home. Toronto on the road this season, giving up over 3 goals per game. Their expected goal numbers are up there. They're allowing a ton of shots. So I think the Jets just are deeper, better hockey team, and I think they kind of take it to Stellaris here in that, who, hey, is an overall good goalie. So you could see a spot here where Vegas has this game basically as a pick 'em. You could see these goalies stand on their head here. I much prefer Connor Hellebuyck. He's just been a wagon all season long, allowing under 2 goals per game. DraftKings just doesn't move his price. He's just permanently priced at 7,800 for whatever reason. He's a great option in that. Expect him to be pretty popular. I prefer Vasilevsky for $200 more, but Hellebuyck and Vaz are my 2 favorite goalies on the entire slate. Matt, the Leafs are pretty much a full fade for me. Not going to get to any of these guys. I just think Winnipeg does what they need to win this game here. And I think they play up a little bit, right, to Toronto. There's talks of, is it Toronto's year this year coming into the season? I think the Jets want to kind of punch them in the mouth here. I do like some of these value guys from the Jets standpoint. This line, too, with Namestnikov, Perfetti, and Nino Niederreiter. Those are 3 value plays right there that are absolutely on fire. And then Nikola Ehlers right now. So you can get the full line 2 stack with Namestnikov, Ehlers, and Perfetti, all for sub 5K each. And I mean, they fully correlate. They get power play time, and they're playing out of their mind right now. Nino Niederreiter is going to be unowned, 3rd liner, 3,100. He's in a great spot. He's playing good hockey right now. So I like the depth guys more from the Jets than kind of the spend-up guys. So for me, value Jets, I like quite a bit. And then Neil Pionk, one of the best deep end on the entire slate at 4,800. The dude plays all the minutes he can handle, blocking shots. He's scoring. He's heavily involved in scoring. I really like him a ton on this slate. Jumping to the next game here, we have the Avs and we have the Blackhawks here. You want to talk about chalk spot here. This is going to be a chalk spot here for a good reason. Blackhawks, not a good hockey team. They're 2-7 to start the year. Avs on the flip side, pretty solid, especially at home. 5-4, a little bit above 500, obviously, but I think this is a spot here where they kind of break out. They are on a back-to-back, but not really worried about that with the Blackhawks coming to town. Mrazek in that just doesn't look to be too great this season here. On the Blackhawks side, I will say you got a couple value plays that I like here from a defensive standpoint here. First off, from a wing standpoint, Nick Foligno playing close to 20 minutes at sub 4K, getting top power play time. I don't hate him. He's fine at 3,700, but from the defense standpoint, Alex Vlasic at 3,100, really like him, playing over 22 minutes. I think he's a great option. And then Wyatt Kaiser at 2.6K, basically stolen minimum. I really love him a ton. He blocks shots, and he's got a good chance to get you that block shot bonus on DraftKings, and he's basically min price. So really like him a ton. On the Avs side, all the Avs firmly in play for me. McKinnon, my favorite spend up on the entire slate. Rantanen, I don't know if I get all the way up to Rantanen. I prefer McKinnon, and then I prefer dropping to Ross Colton, who's playing out of his mind right now. Expect them to be decently popular. McKinnon's going to be pretty chalky, but you can pair up some other guys like Columbus and things like that to middle some of that ownership. So love McKinnon, love Ross Colton. Middlestad, if you want to pivot off of McKinnon, still getting top power play, you can go to him. And then Cale Makar, always viable anytime he's on the slate. But 8,500 for a D-man's a little bit priced out of my range that I like to go to. You can play him in the utility as well, so use him more as a wing. I don't hate that, but not for me here. Kelvin DeHaan, solid value play at 2.8K. Don't hate him. Samuel Girard, Devin Toews, don't hate those. But for me, really like McKinnon, really like Ross Colton, my 2 favorite plays in this game. And then on the other side, the value Blackhawks D-man. Couple games left to talk about here. Another interesting game here. Utah, this should be a great spot for Utah at home. Heaviest favorite on the state, minus 270. Sharks, worst team in the league. They haven't won a game yet this season. 0-9 to start the year. Utah looking to get to 500 after this game here, facing Blackwood and the Sharks. I will say for the Sharks, Mikael Granlund is an elite one-off at 6K. The dude's absolutely on fire. He's on a tear right now. And then you got some cheap guys that are heavily involved, like Alex Wenberg, right at 3K flat, getting top power play time. He's going to play close to 20 minutes. I don't hate him. William Eklund, Fabulin Zetterlund, some of these guys are definitely in play from the Shark side just due to pricing and how they're playing. And you can definitely score on Utah here. Utah allowing a decent amount of goals, especially at home here so far this season. But for me, starts and ends with Utah top power play, Barrett Hayton. Love him. Clayton Keller, Gunther, Nick Schmaltz, and Sergachev. If I'm going to Utah, I'm going to the top power play. Not looking to these value guys. I'd rather prefer the Winnipeg depth value personally, but you can definitely play them. But for me, Utah power play one of the best stacks on the slate. They're going to be decently chalky, but they should be lower owned than what Colorado's going to be. Probably what some of the Edmonton guys in that are going to be. So I like the spot quite a bit for Utah. I think this is a bounce back spot for them, and I could see them pot a couple here for sure. Next game on the slate here, a game that I really don't have much interest in at all. Vancouver, Carolina here. Carolina super depth. Scoring is always spread out. Really don't like the spot here. Kevin Lankinen, I think, is a decent goalie in tournaments. And then same thing for the Carolina side. Goalies, I think, are interesting in this game. I will say Brent Burns at 3,800 is definitely viable in tournaments here. Shane Gostisbehere has taken over basically the lead guy on this team, but Brent Burns still getting power play time, sub 4K. Should be pretty unowned here. I don't hate him. And then that's pretty much it for me in this game. I think this game is a decent real-life game, and from a DFS perspective, I hope it's like 2-1 style game where not much scoring because I don't really have much interest, to be honest with you. Last game on the slate here, we have Vegas and we have the Golden Knights here. I think this is a little bit of a trappy spot here. Vegas is definitely heavy favorites overall. The Flames, not a great hockey team by any means, but they are kind of playing above their means and above what people expected them to. And especially on the road, across 3 games this season, they're the second best team in expected goals against with just 2.2. I think this is a little bit trappy here. I think some ownership is definitely going to go to these Knights here. They're minus 190 favorites. They're implied to score over 4 goals. I just feel like this is a spot where I want to pull out some value guys here, and that's pretty much it. Pavel Dorofeyev here at 4.3K. I get it. He's coming off a ceiling game, but it's hard to ignore his role right now. 4.3K. I don't hate him at 4.3K as a value. But outside of that, I really don't like this game, to be honest, especially at these price points. I think Calgary's better team overall. I will say Dustin Wolf is a solid option in tournaments for GPPs at 7,100 from a goalie standpoint. So I don't hate that. On the Calgary side, Mikael Backlund, Connor Zary, Blake Coleman, that second line stack, super cheap. Don't hate it by any means. Aiden Hill has been pretty leaky overall to start the year. I mean, sitting at an 86% save rate, allowing almost 4 goals per game. So in tournaments, Mikael Backlund, Blake Coleman, Connor Zary, really don't hate that stack too much. Doesn't break the bank, super cheap, going to be unowned. So I like that quite a bit. But outside of that, really not a lot of interest for me in that last game. But that's all 8 games. Kind of broke it down, kind of went where I'm going off of and what I'm looking at. Again, matchup sheet kind of helps break that down. We have this all available over at SHIPITNation.com. If you're not a member yet, you can just go to SHIPIT SHIPITNation.com and click this monthly all access here. If you click that, it brings it right down to $85 a month. If you're not a member and you want access, but you don't want to really sign up, you don't want to bite the bullet, enter your email in here. We've got daily fantasy football roadmap here that kind of walks you through an email course that gives you some lessons if you're interested in that you play NFL DFS. But if not, that's fine. Just hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on this video. Helps us out a ton. And one last time, that promo code NBA15 gets you locked in 15% off any membership plan. That's going to do it, though, for this NHL quick hit here for you. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment down below. And all my final content is already published up on the website for premium members. If you want to access, like I said, use that promo code, jump in now. But good luck tonight in those contests. Hope to see those Ship It Nation logos at the top. For myself, Nadesify. Let's ship it.